In this video, we're going to clean up our scans and remove any artifacts using image adjustment levels. So I have my image that I want to clean up. This is a drawing that I scanned in. So the first thing I want to do is make this a grayscale. What you're going to do is go to image mode and instead of RGB, make this a grayscale. So image mode, it's already grayscale because I scanned it in that way. But if it's not, you're going to change it up here. So it might be RGB, and then you would go and change it to grayscale. And it's going to ask, do you want to discard the color? You're going to say yes. The next thing I might want to do is just crop it down so that I don't have all this extra area that could potentially have a lot of things that I don't want in it. So I'm going to use the crop tool, which is C for the crop tool. You also have the perspective crop tool, and that is helpful if you have photographed an image and the image you photographed isn't quite straight. So in order to use that, I could actually take these and bring them to where the corners of the photograph. But in this case, it's a scan, so it's flat. So I'm just going to use the regular crop tool, and I'm going to get in as close as I can here without cutting off any information that's needed. I'm going to zoom in, Command or Control on a PC plus to help me zoom in and out. And now I can kind of see a little better. Maybe I want to get slightly closer. And then I'm going to press Enter, or you can click on that to commit. Now that that is pretty much cropped off, what we're going to do is use the image adjustment levels. So image adjustment and levels, which is also Command L. You can either do it in the menu, image adjustment levels, or there's also a shortcut key, which I recommend, Command L on a Mac or Control L on a PC. So let's do it up here. Now we have something that looks like a mountain and then a valley, and we have this black triangle, a gray one, and a white one. If I press Alt and click, I can see in the image all of the area. If I click on the white triangle and I'm pressing Alt at the same time, this shows me everywhere where there's white, and then the same thing I can do everywhere where there's black. So you can see there's really not very much black. So I'm going to take this and just slide it. I'm not pressing Alt right now, I'm just taking it and sliding it. Alt is only just to see how much black you have in a different view. So you can see I'm bringing in the black to make the line darker, and this was originally drawn with pencil, so you can kind of see how it gets a little scratchy there. And then I'm going to take the white, and the white is really letting me clean up the paper texture. So zoom in as you're doing it, that way you can kind of see. And then once you get the black and the white triangle, then you can really go with the gray one, and maybe you want to adjust that a little bit. So I like to get the white first and then go in with the black. And what you're trying to aim for is nothing in the white area and a black line. Say I want to start from the beginning. So if you press Option or Alt on a PC, this changes from cancel to reset. So I can totally reset it back to the beginning, and then I can start all over again if I'm feeling like I need to do that. So I'm just gonna go, and I did the white first. I put it in the foothills. And I don't want a lot of noise in the paper area, and you can see that when I bring up the black arrow, it's giving me a little bit of that. So I'm going to try to avoid that as much as possible. And so I'll just say okay. Now that I got it to this part, I might want to take the eraser tool and just erase some things. And what you can do if you're really concerned is to make a duplicate of your layer before you even begin. So at the very, very beginning, you would just copy and paste your layer and then work on one of them and kind of save the other for like an emergency if you feel that you might need that. And then that's easier sometimes than like going back to the beginning and starting all over again. Alright, so I got most of the little stuff, and I really want to try to clean as much as I can here because we need to separate out the line from the paper eventually later. So I might at this point say I want my line work just to get a little bit darker, so I could go back in and bring up the blacks. And now when I press Alt and click, then I can see where all the blacks are, where all the whites are. So that looks alright. And this scratchy texture is just because I used a pencil instead of a pen. So quickly I'll show you the same thing, and this is with a pen, not a pencil. So this, you can see it's not oriented the right way. So I need to image adjustment, and we're going to do a 90 degrees counterclockwise. And this is a line contour drawing of a dog, and you can see it's a little crazy. So I'm going to crop it in first. I'm going to press enter. I'm going to image, adjustment, levels. I could press the space bar, and this gives me the hand tool, and then I can kind of move this around if I need to while I'm working. So first I like to go with the white. I'm bringing it up to the foothills, and pen kind of gives you a little bit more of a clean line because it's a cleaner instrument to use than pencil. And we've got a lot of noise going on, so I can also kind of work with that with the gray. And I can say, okay, I'm going to take the eraser. And what you can also do is take the lasso tool here and just grab large areas and just delete them. So I might take all of that and just delete it. Okay. So I'm just kind of going, and another way to do it is to actually do a selection of the thing that I want here, loosely, and I'm going to add to my selection, so I'm going to press Shift, which you could also just press that little icon. Shift is going to add, and say I mess up and I want to, then I would add there. Say I want to subtract from my selection, I'm going to press Alt or Option, so you can also play with these. This is Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and Shift on a Mac. Shift on a Mac and PC. Alright, we selected what we want. Now we are going to do SelectInverse, Now it's selecting everything that was not selected, and now I can just press delete. So that's a really fast way to just kind of get rid of the background area, and then I could kind of clean up all the little areas where I see little dots. But this looks pretty good to me for now. So let's go ahead and save these, both of them. You can see the layers here and the checkerboard areas where there's no pixels, so we've gotten rid of those. This is to Grayscale, and we're gonna file save as, and I'm gonna call this blind contour. This is number 1, and I'm definitely going to save it as a Photoshop file because I have my transparency on my layer there. So that'll help later. I'm going to save that, and we can go back to this one and save as and do the same thing. Blind contour, this is number 2, and I definitely want to make it a Photoshop file, and I'm going to say save and say OK. So these are going to be your kind of if you're going to get a bunch of these images, and I'll show you what to do with them next.